Hello, boys and girls. And this is the same day, just different video, a couple of hours later. Here's what's happening. As a sort of my own feedback loop that I've developed, and I've used this before, is just I vlog into the camera, I watch what I've vlogged, and then I let my brain, my subconscious, just tell me what to focus on to improve the energy level, to improve the whole thing, to improve the process. So, first thing I noticed is the fat face, the cracked lips. These are all signs that I'm not properly moving my lymph around, like lymphatic circulation, which happens through stretching and sports and just being physically active. And also insufficient sleep, perhaps. So the food to sports ratio, the sleep to other things ratio is not just quite right. So before we get into all the design stuff and all the Illustrator and Photoshop and all the other stuff, the process itself, like the context in which this happens, has to be looked at, and it has to be like positive and as close to thriving as we can get it. So this is sort of my own signal to myself to do more sports, and specifically high intensity sports like sprinting or running upstairs and things like that, and then rest. So sports and rest, just to get more energy into the body, to get the mind in a proper state, to get the whole body oxygenated and functioning like hoo-ah, just we need that. And it doesn't matter, I don't care if you're a nerd, I don't care if you've never done it. Once you start doing it, it will work for you. It works for everybody the same. The second thing, Facebook. Okay, Facebook. Now, I have been on Facebook since I made the first video, and a couple of things I'd like to say about it. I would say, while important projects are going on, like I consider this thing to be an important project, me learning about design and just getting to actually do things. If this is important, then things like, especially video games and Facebook, should be avoided. Absolutely. Like, there's no part in the day where they are good for you. Unless you're marketing your work, and then it's not just wasting time, it has a professional purpose and so on. Here's the thinking behind it. Dopamine is something that we need, like the dopamine system in our brain, we need for goal achievement. And it's like, what it's for is for, in nature, it's for finding food and generally things that have survival value. So food, especially sugary foods, any sort of things that give you satisfaction, like cigarettes will trigger dopamine, and video games give you this sort of task reward. That's what a video game is. You do something and you get a sort of a reward, a mark, a point or something, and you're like, oh, dopamine, yeah, I feel good. But the thing is, both Facebook and video games are designed to repeatedly trigger your dopamine system, and so you get a dopamine fix, and then you want another one, and then you want another one, and then you want another one, and you keep doing the thing, you keep triggering it, and it gets you depleted, and it gets used to getting your fix in a short amount of time. So what this does is it erodes your capacity for staying power, for doing something for 3 days before you get a reward, for doing something for a week before you get a proper flood of dopamine, like, yes, I finished this and I've started my company and I've started my whatever it is you want to do. I don't know how much sense this makes. I'll review it, and if it doesn't make sense, ask me in the comments and I'll get clearer. So Facebook, it's just a no-no. One thing is that it's designed to trigger your dopamine system into repeated, just just nice small comfortable spikes of dopamine, which they feel nice, but they will erode your staying power for other things. Gaming does this, and Facebook does this, and porn does this as well. So it's like a sort of strange reality where dopamine rewards come very easily. And this sort of trains your brain to look for easy dopamine spikes, which are available there in porn, Facebook, and video games, but are not exactly available in real life. Not really. Because real life, you can still get dopamine, and actually you get more dopamine, You get bigger spike, it's just stronger, but they take more work to get there. Like it's much easier to bang a girl than it's much easier to watch porn than to bang a girl. It's much harder to seduce a girl and get to know her and meet her and get her comfortable enough to make love. And then that takes maybe a week or a month or at least a couple of hours. Whereas opening some porn is just like there. Search, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Facebook is the same. It's just easy interactions, but they're shallow and so on and so forth. Okay, here we are 5 minutes in and still no design stuff. Brain plasticity. Now we're talking, boys and girls. Now we are perfectly back and focused on the task at hand. Here's what's happening. What I'm trying to get across is this belief that I've come to have over the more recent times that says that what we do with our neurology mirrors very, very well with what we do in our physical life, in our real life. Like how much money comes in, how much stress comes in, everything of the sort is an expression of what we've been doing, what we are doing with our neurology. So, if you look at how neurons work and connect, the thing is, you have different ideas in your head, and the name of the game is to get the right association of ideas, basically to form network, if that makes sense. And if you form the network in the right way, and if the right ideas are connected to each other directly enough, then that will make a productive network. Okay? So, for instance, if you can do things like get up in the morning, do some sports, eat well, then put in a couple of hours of work, then, I don't know, rest or socialize. And then you have this chain of positive behaviors, then your day will work for you. If in the middle of those things you have to have intermittent breaks and interruptions, so you have to do things like, get up, I feel like crap, I'm not going to exercise today. So you just go into this victim mode, laziness mode, whatever. You put in a little work, and then you feel stressed, and you need a cigarette, and that will take your energy down. And this probably needs some color. I don't know how to express this. Let's say, randomly speaking, you have. Oh man, need more objects here to represent. So, okay, these are hollow. These, let's say, take your energy down. These are full. These take your energy up. So what I'm saying is you have, let's say you have a couple of neurons, like this. You'll just simplify. And now the question is, do you connect the oranges like this? Do you connect the oranges, you make a connection here, or is it like these guys with the negative stuff are between the oranges, so you can't connect them? You go, orange connects to this guy which saps your energy, or it might be like a cigarette or porn and masturbation, and then to this other negative guy, and then like this here. Oh, that was stressful. Okay. So, obviously I will need some sort of pen and paper to explain all this stuff. But anyway, we'll get there. I'll leave this on the video so you can see all the imperfections and everything. What I'm saying is, if you have these negative tendencies here, but you don't connect them, you don't let them connect, you don't let them make network, they can still be here, but you can have network between just the good stuff. Like if you have enough good behaviors going and they're strongly enough linked together between each other to keep the momentum high on the positive, then the negative tendencies you have, whatever it is, laziness, feeling like a victim, just going blah, will simply not form network. There won't be enough momentum in them to associate and to start a negative spiral going downwards. On the other hand, if you have negative things that are well connected, so you feel like a victim and then you smoke because you feel like a victim, and on and on, it just builds up the negativity, that you still have positive tendencies, but they're not linked, they're not networked. And if they're not networked, there's no, coming back to neurons, it's like you have neurons but they're not firing signals at each other, so they're not strengthening each other, they're not doing anything. The basic idea that I wanted to get at is that in our neurology there are the neurons and there is the potential and there are the ideas and everything to make millions happen and to make wonders happen. It's just that most of the time they're not connected yet. And the whole name of the game here is to connect them. To get the neurological clutter out of the way and to streamline these optimal connections that go from morning to high energy focus, sort of around Facebook and around all the other distractions and around the stupid people that want your attention in some way or another, and just go from morning to sports to high energy to design and so on and so forth. So once that network is built in our heads, it doesn't matter where you start. You could be in Africa, you could be in Botswana, you can be in wherever, you can be in any third world country. You can be depressed in a hospital with just one limb left and not be able to hold anything. It doesn't matter. If you form the neurology, if it's connected and it's properly connected, and you put power through it, it will produce, it will work for you. So, that being said, what else do we have? Some small descriptions about how things work with the human brain and body. Like we have a certain amount of energy per day. We can... Oh man, Facebook. See what's lack of sleep? Okay. Second thing that's really weird with Facebook is that the variance is too high. Like there's a wide range of the kinds of people you can meet there. And if they're awesome people, they will help you. And if it's horrible people, morons with short attention spans and everything is just blah and they're just dragging through life. These people, the fact of interacting with them, you will feel better about yourself because you see the contrast. You're here, they're here, but the time spent doing that, you'll never get back. It's just it's a cheap way of feeling good. Okay, if they want to learn something, if they put in energy, if you're actually teaching somebody something, fine. But there's a lot of negativity out there, and these people will give you the runaround. They'll just not have the attention span to focus with you, and it's just I met two of them in a couple of hours, and I just felt it. Like I could have done 5 tutorials with the energy that I spent talking to two, if not stupid people, certainly not the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. So yeah, that's with the Facebook. Now, so I started this whole thing with the idea of that you have to believe in your neuroplasticity. So not only do you have to believe that the network is there and it's possible, and as soon as you remove the clutter and enforce it, it will work, but you have to believe that this is possible to do, and quite fast actually. Fast enough for you to be worth putting time and energy into it. So a network is there and it's possible, and man, my batteries are down. That's fuck. Oh. Okay, I can't upload this crap, man. I'll just call it the version 2, reload the battery, and